Ohio. Nis, the city and municipality in Serbia, the capital of the administrative region the Nishavski district. According to a census of 2011, in Nis 312,867 inhabitants, directly live in the city minus 275,724 inhabitants. The third largest city of Serbia after Belgrade and Novi Sad. Nis is located to the southeast from Belgrade, on the Nishava River, near its confluence with the southern Morava. Here the main transport ways from Central Europe to Greece and Turkey meet. Within centuries Nis was the administrative, shopping and military center. Near modern Nis in the ancient city of Nis, Constantine the Great and Constantius III was born. The advantageous geographical location made Nis strategically important and, therefore, attractive to many conquerors. Dardanelles, Thracians, Illyrians, Celts, Romans, Huns, Avars, and then and Byzantines, Serbians, Bulgarians and Turks possessed Nis. Several times the city was occupied by Hungarians and the Austrians. In 1878 Nis was freed from Turks. Since then the city became a part of Serbia, with small breaks during the First and World War II when it was under occupation. Nis, the large industrial and trade city of southeast Serbia. There is a university, symphonic orchestra, the museums, theaters and other cultural organizations. This city is the important economic, scientific, cultural, religious and political center of Serbia. The university in Nis, founded in 1965, has 13 faculties and about 3,000 students. The city is the center of the Niški diocese of the Serbian Orthodox Church. In 2004 Nis was divided into 5 city communities. Etymology. The pioneer settlement near modern Nis was founded by Celts in the 3rd century BB. The city was called in honor of the Nishava River. Velina the river. Passing from hands of some conquerors to others, the city changed the name. Roman Nasis, the Byzantine, Slavic Nis, Turkish Nis, German Nisse. Geography. Nis is located in the low valley on both sides of the Nishava River, near its confluence with the southern Morava. The city is surrounded with hills Kuum, Vinik and Kamenički hung on the northeast, Gorica and Bubin in the south. Through the Nishavski Valley the roads conducting to the south from Belgrade to Thessaloniki and Athens, and on the east in the direction of Sofia and Istanbul lie. The internal downtown is at the height of 194 m above sea level, near a monument in the center. The highest point of agglomeration, Wirab, 1810 meters. The mountain in Suvatudi Planena and the lowest, 173 meters. In Trupala in the mouth of the Nishava River. Agglomeration of Nis occupies the space of 596.71 km, which includes Nis, Nishban and 68 rural settlements. Climate in Nis moderately continental, with an average annual temperature of 11.4 C. Warmest month July with an average temperature of 21.3 C is. The coldest month January with an average temperature of 0.2 C. Annually 589.6 mm rain and snow on square meter drop out on average, that averages 123 rainy days and 43 days with the snow. The maximum temperature for all history was 44.2 C on July 24, 2007, and the lowest 23.7 C on January 25, 1963. The maximum quantity of rainfall is registered on November 5, 1954 and 76.6 m. The greatest thickness of snow was 62 cs, dropped out from February 23 to February 25, 1954. Climate of Nis. It is observed at the meteorological station located in Fortress at the height of 202 meters above sea level. On the basis of archaeological excavations, it is possible to draw a conclusion that in the territory of Nis people lived with the Middle Paleolithic. Pod 30000 years BB. The remains from a paleo found in the town of Kremenets are stored in an archaeological collection of the National Museum in Nis. Tombs of a Bronze Age in the ancient settlement Mediana were found in Medoshvatsa. Opening of ancient settlements of Buban and Humskovechuk show that settlements existed during 5800–5500 years BC. The most ancient layer belongs to the Neolithic and belongs to Starchevo-Krishki cultural group. It is considered that Nis is one of possible places where Dionysus grew up. The name to the city, most likely, was given by the Celts living in the territory of modern southeast Serbia. Navisos with Villain Value a Hail. Romans occupied the city during Dardanelles War in the 1st century BC. Strategic provision of the city allowed it to become military, administrative and shopping center of the province Upper Moesia. At the time of the Roman Empire, the city Nis, the Latin Iziravani name from the Greek Nasos, bears a name. In the 2nd century of our era, Nis was rather known city. Claudius Ptolemaeus in Geography mentions in quality of one of 4 largest cities of Dardania. In the 33rd year AD, Romans constructed Viaduct Militaris which passed through Nis. In September 268 the Roman army, headed by the Emperor Gallian and 2 future emperors Marcus Aurelius Claudius and Aurelian, faced Gats in bloody fight near Nis. It is considered that was killed 30000–50000. It is ready and that the victory provided existence of the Western Roman Empire the next 2 centuries. In the antique city of Nis on February 27, 271 years. According to other data, 273 years. Constantius Laur and Flavia Julia Elena Constantine's son, future emperor of the Roman Empire, was born. In the hometown the Emperor Constantine constructed Median's country house. Today this area is the important place of archaeological excavations which began in 1979. Inlaid floors and other remaining balance of imperial luxury are stored in the Museum Mediana. In 284 the Emperor Diocletian allocated Dardania from Moesia to the certain province. Nis became the capital of Dardani. In the 4th century the Niski diocese, which became one of the important religious centers in the Roman Empire, was founded. A basilica of the 4th century in Nis, one of the oldest Christian monuments in the world. In the 4–5 centuries bishops from Nis, Codency, Bonos, Marcian, Gaian and the project made a noticeable contribution to Christian teaching. Excellent strategic provision and wealth made Nis subject to the attacks of many barbarians. Though the Emperor Julian II Otstupnik strengthened walls around Nis, and turned them into well-strengthened city, all the same barbarians burned the city and destroyed people. After appearance of Huns in 442, then in 448 and 480, Nis was completely destroyed. When we reached Nis, we found absolutely deserted city destroyed by opponents. Huns. Near ruins of the temple there were some people who remained because of a disease there. It is a little away from the river. All coastal area was covered with bones of those who were killed in battle. Middle Ages. Procopius of Scythopolis writes in the treatise about constructions that the Emperor Justinian I restored Nis, having constructed 32 new towers. Besides, Procopi in particular reports about wars and invasions of Slavs in 550-551 years. The first migration of Slavs and Avars took place in the second half of the 6th century. In the 6th-7th centuries 8 times tried to occupy Slavic tribes Nis. In 615 Slavs took the city in the last attack, and the most part of the Roman population ran or disappeared. Traces of the Roman inhabitants of Nis remained in local population, Valaka. In 803 the Bulgarian Khan captured Nis. Byzantium returned itself the city in 1018 during Vasily II Bulgaraboy's government. In 1072 the Hungarian army occupied the valley of Morava up to Nis, but in a year Byzantines restored the status quo. On July 4, 1096 the population of Nis broke army of the country crusade. In the middle of the 12th century the Byzantine Emperor Manuel Comnene used the city as base for the troops against Hungarians. Bulgaria returned itself the city in 1190, during government of the Tsar Ivan of Asen I. Turks under Murad's leadership won and plundered Nis in 1386, after 25 days of a siege. In the Middle Ages in the city there were relics of Saint Procopi, who was a patron of Nis. Shortly before gaining the city by the Seljuks of its power were transferred to the center of Serbia of the time by Procopil today. The city endured new Ottoman destruction in 1427. In 1443 Nis appeared in hands of the Serbian despot Georgi Branković again. The Christian army, headed by the Hungarian voivode Janus Hunyadi and Georgi Branković, defeated Turks and pushed aside them to Sofia. Ottoman Empire. Nis again was captured by Ottomans in 1448 and remained under their power throughout the next 245 years. During this period Nis was the center of the Nishki Pachalik and also the center of one of dioceses of the Bulgarian Exarchia. On June 20, 1521 in Nis a huge fire broke out. The city would be completely destroyed if not the Ahmet Pasha, the commander of the Turkish army in war against Hungary, who entered on the way to the city and saved its many inhabitants. During Great Turkish War, on September 24, 1689, near Nis there was a battle in which the Turkish army was broken, and the Austrians under command of the Prince Ludwig Badensky for the first time occupied the city. After a failure of further raids the Austrian troops capitulated on September 8, 1690 and handed over the city to Turks. In 1737 Turks built Nishki fortress, further become a citadel. In July of the same year, without formal declaration of war, to Nish the Austrian army, under command of the Great Duke Tuscan rose. Turks waged then war with Russia. In Nish there was only a 4,000 garrison which, without counting on the help, entered negotiations with the enemy and then capitulated, having ensured a free exit. At the end of August 1737 the Austrian army receded to Uzice, having left in Nish group from 5 battalions, under supervision of the General Dux. Having used the Turks in September of the 1737th concentrated the 90,000 army near Nish and suggested Dux to give up, that he also made without Suprotivlena, and with the group departed to Belgrade. He was prosecuted and executed for it. With 1870 when the Bulgarian Orthodox Church separated from the Constantinople Patriarch. According to the statements of the Bulgarian historians, up to 1878 among residents of Nish Bulgarians prevailed. The Bulgarian school and library worked in the city. Till 1878 Nish was perceived as the Bulgarian city. The French representative Guillaume Adolphe Blanca, who visited Nish soon after the Nishski revolt, called even Nish the capital of Bulgaria. Till 1878 even Serbians considered Niš the Bulgarian city. In the first edition of the Serbian Specialized History on Bulgarian the people, issued in a year of release, affirmed that the main towns of Bulgaria on Danube in essence, Vidin from 18,19000 inhabitants, Nikopol from 10,15000 inhabitants, Svistov from 20000 inhabitants, Rushchik from 22000 inhabitants, Silistra from 23000 inhabitants. And in internal Bulgaria, Nich from 16000 inhabitants, Pleven from 17000 inhabitants, Lovak from 11000 inhabitants, Shumen from 2000 inhabitants, Varna on the Black Sea from 16000 inhabitants, and Turnovo, the old capital on Yanta from 15000 inhabitants. However, under the San and Stefansky Agreement, Niš was annexed to the Principality of Serbia. In the next decades, most of Bulgarians left the city, others assimilated. And with an urbanization of the 20th century, to Niš thousands of Serbian peasants moved. The 20th century. In 1929-1941 Niš was the administrative center of the Moravian Banovina. On October 14, 1944 the city was freed from Nazi invaders by the People's Liberation Army of Yugoslavia with assistance of the Soviet Air Force. On November 7, 1944 there was an air fight over Niš, fighting collision of the American and Soviet troops, one of several TENS documentary confirmed episodes of World War II classified as fire at the sites. Remaining balance of the Roman fortress, necropolis of the 4th-12th centuries, Turkish caravanserai of the 16th century and fortress of the 18th century, and also Baroque churches. Monument to the Soviet soldiers who died during the attack of the American aircraft in 1944. The monument represents an arch designed from red granite weighing 38 tons with 2 columns, a bas-relief and a bell. Transport. In Niš, the international airport, Constantine the Great, the second largest in Serbia, is located. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. all of good mood and good luck.